Welcome, everyone, to another episode of The Heart of Communication. I'm your host, Jamie, and today we're diving into a topic that touches all of our lives: apologies and how to make them work. We've all been there. Saying sorry can sometimes feel like a minefield, especially when we've hurt someone we care about. So, how can we ensure our apologies actually lead to healing? To help us navigate this sensitive terrain, we have Dr. Lisa Thompson, a renowned psychologist and author of The Power of Genuine Apologies. Welcome, Dr. Thompson.
Thank you, Jamie. I'm thrilled to be here. Apologies can be a tricky business, but they're essential for repairing relationships. A well-crafted apology can rebuild trust, while a half-hearted one can create even more distance. I want to emphasize that a good apology isn't just about saying, "I'm sorry." It's about acknowledging the impact of your actions, taking responsibility, and showing genuine remorse. Today, we'll uncover the elements of a successful apology that can truly mend fences.
Absolutely, Dr. Thompson. It's fascinating how a simple phrase can carry so much weight. Can you share with us some key components that make an apology effective? What should people keep in mind when they realize they've messed up?
Certainly. First and foremost, it's vital to be specific about what you're apologizing for. Instead of saying, "I'm sorry for what I did," try to articulate your actions and their effects. For example, "I'm sorry for missing our meeting. I know it made you feel unvalued and caused you stress." This shows the other person that you recognize the consequences of your behavior. Next, express genuine remorse. This isn't about your feelings alone. It's about acknowledging their hurt. Lastly, offer a way to make amends or a plan for how you'll prevent this in the future. This shows commitment to change.
Welcome back to our podcast, where we're diving deeper into the art of apologies that actually work. In our last episode, we touched on the importance of sincerity and understanding the impact of our actions. Today, we'll explore some practical strategies for repairing relationships after a mistake. What do you think is the first step in effectively apologizing?
Great question. I believe the first step is acknowledging the mistake. It's not just about saying, "I'm sorry." You need to clearly identify what you did wrong and how it affected the other person. This shows that you genuinely understand the situation and are taking responsibility for your actions. For example, if you forgot an important date for a friend, you could say, "I forgot your birthday, and I know that must have hurt you." This level of specificity can really help in making an effective apology.
Absolutely. Acknowledgement is key, but sometimes people struggle with taking responsibility. What are some common barriers you see that prevent effective apologies?
One major barrier is pride. Many individuals feel the need to defend their actions or justify them instead of facing the discomfort of admitting they were wrong. This can lead to a half-hearted apology or, worse, an avoidance of the conversation altogether. Another barrier is fear of rejection or fear of the other person's response. Some might worry that they'll make things worse. However, the truth is that avoiding the apology can often create more damage in the long run.
That's so true. Fear can really paralyze us from making the right choice. Once someone has acknowledged their mistake and taken responsibility, what do you think the next step should be?
The next step is to express genuine remorse. This means conveying how sorry you are for the pain your actions caused. It's about making it clear that you understand the emotional impact on the other person. You might say, "I feel terrible for not being there, and I realize how much that meant to you." This empathetic approach not only validates their feelings, but also reinforces the sincerity of your apology.
That's a powerful technique. Another thing we should discuss is making amends. After an apology, how can someone demonstrate that they're committed to making things right?
Making amends can involve a variety of actions, depending on the situation. It could be as simple as making a gesture to show you care, like sending flowers or treating someone to coffee. It could also mean changing behavior to ensure the mistake doesn't happen again. For instance, if you've been unreliable, you could establish a system to manage your commitments better. The key is to show that you're not just apologizing, but also taking tangible steps to improve.
Welcome back to our podcast on apologies that actually work, repairing after you mess up. In our last segment, we delved into the importance of acknowledging the impact of our actions. Today, let's explore the role of accountability in effective apologies. Guest, how crucial is it to take full responsibility for our mistakes when apologizing?
Taking full responsibility is absolutely essential. When you own up to your actions without deflecting or making excuses, it shows the other person that you truly understand the gravity of the situation. For instance, saying, "I'm sorry for what I did," is much more powerful than saying, "I'm sorry if you were hurt." The former indicates that you recognize your wrongdoing, while the latter can come off as insincere or dismissive. Accountability sets the stage for genuine repair.
That's a great point. Accountability is a cornerstone of a sincere apology. However, I think many people struggle with how to balance responsibility with vulnerability. They might fear that admitting fault could make them look weak. How can one navigate this?
That's a common concern. But vulnerability in admitting mistakes can actually foster strength and deeper connections. It's important to reframe how we view accountability, not as a weakness, but as an opportunity for growth. For instance, when you say, "I messed up and I'm working to learn from this," it shows maturity. It invites the other person to join you in a conversation about how to prevent similar issues in the future, thus creating a more collaborative dynamic.
Absolutely. And this leads us to another critical component of a successful apology: empathy. How can empathy enhance the effectiveness of our apologies?
Empathy is fundamental in making the person feel heard and valued. When you acknowledge their feelings explicitly, it can lead to a deeper emotional connection. For example, saying, "I can see how my actions hurt you," validates their experience and helps them feel understood. This emotional recognition can soften their defensiveness and open the door for reconciliation. It's about aligning your apology with their feelings, which helps to genuinely mend the relationship.
That's a powerful reminder. It's not just about saying sorry, it's about making the other person feel like their feelings matter. Now let's talk about follow-up actions. What role do they play in effective apologies?
Follow-up actions are crucial. An apology without action can feel hollow. After apologizing, it's important to demonstrate commitment to change. This could be as simple as checking in with the person later or making actionable steps to ensure the mistake doesn't happen again. It shows that you're serious about making things right. For example, if you missed a work deadline, not only apologizing but also proposing a new plan to improve time management demonstrates your commitment to accountability.
As we wrap up today's discussion on effective apologies, I want to emphasize that acknowledging our mistakes is just the first step. It's crucial to follow it up with actionable changes that demonstrate our commitment to doing better. What are your thoughts on how we can ensure that our apologies lead to real change, rather than just being empty words?
Absolutely, the follow-through is key. For instance, if you've wronged someone in a workplace setting, it's not enough to just say, "I'm sorry." You should outline specific steps you're taking to address the issue and prevent it from happening again. This could include seeking feedback from the affected party on how you could improve. It shows that you value their feelings and are not just trying to brush the incident under the rug. Additionally, keeping open lines of communication can help rebuild trust over time.
Great insights. Ultimately, an effective apology is about humility, accountability, and a genuine desire to mend relationships. As we conclude this episode, remember that everyone's human and mistakes are a part of life. It's how we respond that defines us. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your wisdom on this important topic.